Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dusty Mason, and welcome to the Shred Academy. Today, we're gonna be covering one of my favorite things, and that's gonna be corners. And we're gonna break this down into two episodes. We're gonna break down into flat corners and berms. Today, we're covering flat corners. Before we get started, let's define the two types of ways that we can change direction on our bike. Now, there's steering, which is done simply by turning the handlebar in a direction. The bike will go that way. You won't see many people changing direction like that on the trail, because on the trail, we change direction by cornering. And that's by leaning the bike to a direction, and that will eventually engage your front wheel to dip a little bit or turn a little bit, and that will create an arc, okay? And that's how we want to corner on the trail. So we want to corner, we don't want to steer. Now, while we're cornering, we're relying on our side knobs of our tires to grip into the dirt or the substrate that you're riding on and allow traction, while you use your body as a counterweight to keep the bike tracking forward. Now, what I mean by that is on a flat corner, we don't have anything to push into as we turn. So we have to lean the bike over and learn to stay on top of it, centered over the bottom bracket, centered over the bike, not leaning with the bike, so the bike can corner and engage those side knobs, and our weight being on top of the bike is gonna help those side knobs really grip into the dirt. If we start to lean with a flat corner, you're gonna notice that the wheels start to push out and you lose grip. So, how do we execute this form to go through a flat corner? Well, it's pretty simple. And we're gonna break it down into two parts with an option, well, not an optional third, just the third. Your first is gonna be your head. Now your head, like always, needs to be looking down trail. So as you're approaching a corner, you should be looking at the entrance. While you're entering the corner, you should be looking at the middle. As you're getting to the middle, you should be looking at the end. When you're getting to the end, you're looking down trail to decide where you're going next. Now, step two is gonna bring in body bike separation and movement. And that basically is separating your body from the bike so you can move the bike around separately from you. Now, the top half of me, right, if I'm gonna be making a left-hand corner, yep, I'll be making a left-hand corner down there. While I'm making this left-hand corner, I'm gonna be approaching in my attack position, centered over the bike, and I'm going to lean the bike to the left, and as I do that, my right arm will start to straighten. Now, I have a busted elbow, so it doesn't really go straight. That's about as straight as I can get her. But you don't need to make yourself uncomfortable. Just allow that arm to straighten, right? And this elbow, your right elbow, a lot of loud trucks this morning, you need to make sure that you keep it high. That's gonna help you keep the wheel driving in the right direction, and as things hit your tire, you can keep it from going back. If your elbow falls down, right, just like in a regular attack position, if your elbow falls down, this is a much harder way to push forward. If I'm here, this is a lot more forceful than here. We're gonna talk about braking just for a second. Now, as we come to a corner, we wanna get all of our braking done before we enter the corner. If we start to brake in the corner, it's gonna start to engage our suspension, especially our fork, right? And that's gonna take away its ability to help absorb what's coming through the corner, because your body's already gonna be weighted to the front now that you're braking, right? So your fork is doing twice the work. Second thing is you could lose traction. So if you're braking through the corner, you're leaning your bike, you have very little tire surface that's keeping you attached to the ground. So if you get to a root or a rock that's a little slippery and you're hard on the brake, boop, bike's gonna start to slide out from underneath of you. So make sure you're getting all your braking done before the corner, so that as you go through the corner, your suspension can work better and you can be more confident in your traction. Okay, now let's get to it. Sorry everybody, I hope that helped though. It's important. All right guys, I just wanted to reiterate a few things. As I'm coming into the corner, I'm in a really nice attack position. Elbows wide, body weight over the bottom bracket here. As I come into the corner, you can tell right here, I'm already looking at the entrance. All right, and now as I enter the corner, I drop my outside foot, okay? And then as I come into the corner, I'm looking at the middle of the corner already. As well, I start to lean the bike over. Now, my inside arm doesn't straighten all the way. The slower you're going, the more straight up your body will be as you lean the bike over. So as you come into a flat corner with a little bit of speed, you can lean in to the corner a little bit, just don't lean too much. You can tell that my outside elbow is bent, right? And again, still my outside foot is dropped. Now, this is important as well. Don't bring your inside knee out like you're on a MotoGP. As you come through the corner, if you're slowing down, you don't have a throttle to help pick you back up and right you again. And it's just bringing weight off the bike when we're trying to keep weight down on top of the bike. So keep this inside knee tucked in and don't GP Moto knee and have it hanging out here. Now, as well, as I'm coming through the corner and I'm looking with my eyes, I'm also rotating my shoulders a little bit and looking with this upper part of my chest, making sure that it's also pointing energy to where I want to go. Another part that I'm looking for, or looking with, is my hips. I'm actually rotating my hips so that I'm actually looking through the corner with my belly button. This is gonna open up your hips to the side, to the outside corner, or the outside of the bike, and that's gonna help the rear end of the bike track around the corner better. If you keep your hips straight on with the bike this way, the bike is gonna wanna tend to track that way. You have to start pointing your hips and shoulders where you wanna go as well, in addition to looking ahead where you wanna go. So yeah, just a quick interjection there. Hope that makes sense to everybody. Let's move on. The next thing you're gonna wanna do, and this is gonna vary depending on your terrain and your ability level. Now, if you're a beginner to flat corners, I would suggest starting to ride with the outside foot down. So if I'm leaning the bike to the left, the right pedal is gonna go down. And that is gonna allow you to more or less stand on that right pedal, lean the bike to the left, keep that elbow up. Notice how my hand is just kind of here guiding. That's because this right one is the one that's making it sure it's going the way it should. Okay? This one's just here to help guide at this point, right? Now, I know some people might come back and go, oh, you could catch a rock. I understand. Just if you're just learning, just drop your foot, look for the rocks as you're going through, right? You can catch a toe, right? So we're trying to avoid that, but this is gonna help you learn with your weight distribution. All right, let's have a look at dropping that outside foot. As I come into the corner in my attack position, centered over the bottom bracket, wide elbows, you can tell I'm already looking at the entrance of the trail here. So let's go ahead and move forward. All right, all the way back here, all the way at the entrance of the corner, I'm dropping that outside foot. Notice I'm looking at the middle of the turn. So as I come through, I initiate that bike lean. Notice that my outside arm stays nice and high and bent. And this inside arm, while still bent, is definitely straighter than the outside arm. As I come through here, I'm not only looking with my head,
but I'm making sure my shoulders start to rotate and that my hips start to rotate outside the bike so that the rear end of the bike can track through as well. So as I come through the corner here, we're gonna get a look at this outside foot placement, really putting pressure on these inside cornering knobs here. My weight is really directing straight down over top of the bike. Even though I am leaning over just a little bit, you can see that the majority of my weight here, the center mass, is over top of the bike. It's not over here, really leaning like I would be pushing into a berm over there. As I come through here, you can see that grip that I'm getting on that rear tire. I'm looking down the trail, one finger braking, outside elbow high, chest not pointed at the top tube. So pretty textbook turn there. On to the next.
Okay, now, if you're a little more advanced, okay, and you're really trying to learn how to rail these flat corners, upper body, same thing, you know, lean the bike, arm straightened, elbow bent, stay over the center of the bike, but your feet will then be level, okay? And if I'm turning to the left, which I'm just gonna turn my bike to the side, if I'm turning to the left, I'm gonna want my right pedal in the rear. And that's because as I lean the bike over, I'm still gonna transfer weight onto that right pedal. But now it's gonna be transferring weight onto this rear tire and helping it track with the front tire. Right?
All right, let's take a look at what happens going through a flat corner with level pedals. Now, everything is more or less the same. Head position, looking down trail. I've got wide elbows. So let's take a look at what happens when I come in. I initiate the corner, right, from the outside. Again, entering outside, I got all my braking done back here. Now, as I start to lean the bike, I have to lean with it because I'm really not weighting the outside pedal because I have level pedals. They're both evenly weighted. So as I lean the bike into the turn, my body is also going to lean with it. And that kind of sends the energy kind of that way. So let's see what I look like coming through the turn here. Okay, notice where my hips are on the outside right there. I'm opening up my hips so the rear end of the bike can come around. So as I come forward through the turn, notice, now I'm not perfectly level, but oftentimes you'll see someone, if you need more pressure, you can always drop this outside foot down and that'll apply more pressure to these cornering knobs on the inside. I really didn't feel as comfortable on this flat corner with level pedals as I was dropping that outside foot. So it's definitely corner dependent. If you had a whole bunch of rocks in here and stuff, you would definitely have to pick a line so you didn't snag a crank or anything. So as I go through, right, still level pedals, and then we're cruising back down the trail again. So let's go take a look at a right turn, and then we'll move forward. Let's take a look at a right turn with level pedals. As I come into the turn, looking again through the turn, looking at the exit. All right, my hips open up so that the rear end of the bike can come around. Notice that my elbows stay nice and wide, so I have good arm strength. Now, right here, you can almost see the front tire start to wash. Right there. So that would definitely be alleviated if I were weighting this outside foot and really giving some good grip into those cornering knobs. But as I come through, you know, looking ahead, right, so you can almost see the tires drifting through there. So it's really all terrain dependent on what you want to do on a flat corner. I do think that the pedal down, if you have the terrain that's suitable to it, is the most efficient. Not so for berms, but we're not talking about berms right now. So I hope this helped with showing that you don't get as much grip as you do if you were to put that foot down. Yeah, right. You can almost see the bike sliding around. And when that happens, you just have to be comfortable on the bike and know or hope that these corner knobs do grip into something. So thanks for watching. Let's move on.
And now this is again where you don't want to get back in the bike as you do this, because that's going to unweight the front tire and it won't have enough grip as it goes through. So you want to stay in your attack position, but not over the front, because then the same thing that happens to the front when you're back here happens to the back. So center over the bike. Now, let's go to some slow-mo. We'll break this all down and I'll stop yammering on.
Okay, everybody, let's do one more video breakdown, but this time we'll do it of the right turn and just reiterate a bunch of things. You'll notice that I am up here in your top left, and let's see how I come through the left corner first. All right, as you see, I'm coming through my left, and already you can tell that I'm looking ahead. While I was here behind the tree, I was already looking here, so I really couldn't show you that as I back up here, right? You can actually see me as I come around that tree right there, right here. I'm already looking through the turn. I've seen the entrance as I came up to it. Now, let's watch my body movements here. Notice that outside foot drops back there. So we're doing good there. As we come in, notice this outside elbow staying nice and high. I am leaning into the turn a little bit, so this inside elbow doesn't straighten all the way. Again, the more you lean, the less straight that inside elbow will be. But again, don't lean too much, because that will cause the tires to push out from underneath of you. You want that weight to be pushing downward to engage your side knobs. So as I go through the corner, nice and sturdy, look at that outside elbow taking all the brunt, and my inside arm is kind of just hanging out there. Looking up, notice that my shoulders are turning, my hips are also rotated to let that rear tire of the bike come around. And now as I come up, I start to look down trail again. I'll right the bike. I'll end up going back into level pedals, and we're cruising along.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed flat cornering. Key points to take away is to make sure you're keeping your body weight centered over the bike as you lean the bike over. Make sure you're looking through the turn, making sure that you're keeping that inside knee tucked in, no moto knee. There's no throttle to pick you back up after you're leaning that far and all your body weight's kind of going that way. Make sure you have good body-bike separation so you can move that bike around. Outside elbow up, inside arm straight, outside foot down. If you have any more questions, please write them in the comments. If you like this video, please make sure you let me know in the comments. You hit like, you subscribe if you haven't. Maybe you become a Patreon or you become a member of the YouTube page. You get some pretty cool perks, as well as we do online coaching. So go over to our website, check that out. You can send us your videos of what you're working on, and we'll coach you through your own videos so that you have kind of like my breakdowns, but of you. Pretty cool program, and it's really affordable. So thanks again, guys. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Ride hard, ride safe, be nice to everybody. See you next time.